Hey everyone, Tony Winston here for Jazz Piano College. Let's make this Jazz Piano High School, maybe even Jazz Piano Middle School, because we're going to do two very easy Christmas songs that just have simple chords in them. And if you're a beginner, I think these would be perfect for you. And I'll start with just playing the chords in the left hand, the melody in the right hand. I'll try not to talk too much. Here we go. Okay, we start with a C chord. You could make it a C6 chord. The melody kind of indicates that. C6. And the next measure, no chord symbol. Just go ahead and keep doing the same chord. G7. And so you run into each other. So you could do G7 like this. Or this, or what I was doing. On this chart, there's a whole lot of chords there. And you see there's G9, G7, G7 with a flat 9. And all of these really are just indicating what the melody is doing. You have G7, but they call it G9 because there's a 9 on there. But it means G7. So just stay with G7 through these whole three measures here. And even the one with the flat 9, they're just showing the melody there. The middle part starts here on F. And I know it says it's rocking around the Christmas tree, but it's kind of a jazz type chord progression. So make it a 6th chord or major 7. Here, E minor 7th will work. This part right here, A minor, the E plus is an E major chord with the 5th raised. So you could do it like this. It's very similar to Stairway to Heaven. And I believe that'll work here. So that's an advanced version of a D 7th chord. We got D, the 3rd, the 7th, the 9th, but it might be better just to hit it like this and leave the 5 out of many dominant 7th chords. The ending kind of stretches out. They go G. So maybe on the rest you put the chord in, or now this is a blues turnaround. So something like this maybe. Nice jazz chord here at the end. C, 3rd, 7th, 9th, 13. So you could call it C13, but think of it as C7th with some extra good stuff. All right, the second song I'm going to cover is Jingle Bell Rock, and once again, it's more of a jazz song than a rock song. So let's make the first chord C6th. And we could do the same kind of thing here. So, of course, I kept the C chord going until I saw a new chord simple, which was C sharp diminished. Now, a diminished chord means to take a major chord and lower the 3rd, which makes it a minor chord, and then lower the 5th, which makes it a diminished chord. But this is C sharp diminished, so it's this chord. And it's easy to get to. You start on C, just raise that note, you've got C sharp diminished. Here's D minor 7th and an inversion of G7th. This is G7th, but I kept these two notes down here. Right, remember I was on D minor 7th, so I just had to move these two, and I've got a G7th. So, I would stay on D minor here. Let's get rid of that G7, and then we're going to play G7 in root position, because this is an important spot in the song where you need to hear the root. And if I go, I've almost got enough of the chord just doing this and this with the melody. But what's missing? Well, the 5th is missing, but we can leave the 5th out of dominant chords. And besides that, the 5th has actually been raised with our melody note there. But we're missing the 3rd, so let me put it in here. So this is a more advanced chord. It's an open voicing rather than, putting everything clumped together. We spread it out, 7th, 3rd, and the melody takes care of that plus sign, which means augmented. And then we're back to this. Now here I did C diminished. I added yet another minor 3rd to the chord. See, it's minor thirds. So that's okay too. So if it's not a major 7th and it's not a minor 7th, it's a dominant 7th. So it doesn't say major or minor, so we know it's a major triad with the flat 7, okay? Right. A major 7th is always just right here next to the root, but the flat 7, which is used on a dominant chord, it's also used on the minor 7th chord. That's what we call it. All right, now I'm lost here. Oh yeah. There's my inverted G7th again. All right, we're going to leave out that D minor 7th. That's kind of indicating like a walk up to get to the bridge. Lead sheets are just really the barest sketches of what really goes on in the song. So they're useful, but they don't tell you everything. So we're just going to change that now to C7th, right, from C6th to C seventh. And if I don't say major seventh or minor seventh, then I mean dominant seventh, C dominant seventh. The melody's up there on the sixth, and they go like this. And I think most people know the song more just as this note going first. Sounds right. And back to C6. You could do the A minor seventh and D seventh like this. But a D7 is more typical, I think, in this song. I added that sharp 5, like a G7 with a plus sign. And sometimes that's written G plus 7 rather than the other way around. Last part. Or I could have even gone to that diminished chord. The E minor 7. Now this was written with a typewriter, obviously, because it means E minor 7, which is E minor triad, the flat 7, flat the 5. So you could do that. And you could invert the A7 like this. Many times when you have a minor chord first and then a dominant chord, it'll be this move right here. Not always, but in this case, like this. F. So F major, F minor, you can add the 6th on both of them. D7, leaving out the 5. G. Again, I left out the 5. You can put it in. And if you like it that way. Now under the first ending, we've got so C6, C diminished with the 7th on there, then D minor, and G7 gets you back to the beginning of the song. All right. At the very end, we call this a tag ending. Because it does D7 to G7 3 times, so it's a 3-time tag ending. What's that ending there? So you could go just a little like that. Or, all right, a little jazz ending. Let me show it to you. It's like a C6 chord. All right, you can actually leave that out. And then you go up a half a step and do a dominant chord. So the root, the 7th, the 3rd, another 7th, and back to the chord. You could keep the G in too. Well, anyway, if you've come this far, you're probably a beginner. So, learn the basics first. That's what I did. I can't remember how old I was. Probably, a teenager, learning chords, major chords, minor chords. And, I was into rock and roll in those days, so I wasn't learning flat nine chords or altered dominants or any of that kind of stuff, just learning basic chords. So that's a good approach to take. Hope you enjoy these songs, and thank you for all your support over on Patreon and through PayPal and right here with those great comments on YouTube. So if you have another song you'd like me to cover, please leave it in the comments, and I'll be back with you all again real soon. Thanks.